Okay, Paul. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've got you. Can you hear me?
There you go. Thanks, mate.
Brilliant, thanks. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Paul.
Frank, how ready is Mendy to start if required, and is he likely to start?
To start tomorrow is not going to happen. He's had a long week where he hasn't really trained. Flew in yesterday, and it just feels too tight a turnaround to put him in contention to start the game.
Just one on, there's ongoing talk over Antonio Rudiger and Jorginho as well. I know you've faced a lot of questions on these players recently. I mean, do you expect them to leave in this transfer window, and if so, would you sell to another Premier League club?
I don't expect anything in the window, because they're our players, and that's a fact. And there are lots of rumours, not just about the players you mentioned, but on others. So every player would obviously always be a case-by-case situation. That will be one that would be a happy solution for the player, for myself, and for the club. So yes, we have a big squad, we know that, but at the moment, players remain ours, and we'll see as time goes on.
The Declan Rice links don't seem to be going away at the moment. What are your chances of signing him or someone in his position?
Yeah, again, they're rumours. I mean, I can't talk about these things, but I'll get asked. I know it's your job to ask me about them every time we speak to you, but when players are either ours, it's not my position to speculate on what may be, because that's just absolutely not my job. And the same on the other side, and players that are playing for other clubs continue that way. We have a game against West Brom. My biggest thing is about getting the squad ready for that game.
Just the final one from me, Frank. I know clubs across the country, especially at lower levels, are fearful at the moment for their futures. And I know last week you spoke about the Premier League and its clubs helping out. Have you any thoughts on a specific plan and how that can happen? And is any plan dependent, do you think, on fans returning to Premier League stadiums?
I don't have thoughts on a specific plan, and that's not to mean that I don't care or don't have feelings on it, because I voiced those feelings last year. I don't think there's anybody in any form of the game, Premier League at the top of the pyramid or grassroots football, that doesn't want to see this game continue, and for clubs not to go under, and for people to not lose their jobs. I mean, that's not just a problem for football and sport at the moment. So I think there will be some positive action, positive thoughts, and the people that are at the top of the game to make those plans. I would certainly support ideas to try and help any form of grassroots football or sport get the help it needs to stay alive during this tough time, and we'll try and club together, I suppose.
John Southall, 5 Live.
Hi Frank. On a similar theme, obviously the cases of coronavirus have had an impact on football this week with Leyton Orient, West Ham as well. Are you all aware? It just feels very fragile at the moment around everybody, but around football as well.
Yeah, I'm certainly aware of that, and I think we all are here. We're all living this moment, and if you follow the news, the media, or just the feeling that's in the country at the moment, I think it feels in a slightly fragile state. I think we're very understanding of that. That's become slightly the new norm for us, and it seems to have reared its head again, particularly in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, not a great situation. People are in a much worse situation than what we are in our jobs here right now at Chelsea. But we just have to keep working right, doing the right things, and there are tough times.
On the transfer front, obviously Mendy's come in. Do you think that'll be the last one now, or do you think we might see some more transfers?
I honestly don't have answers to speculation of ins or outs going forward.
Okay, Tammy Abraham linked up well with Kai Havertz in the week, so that gives you a difficult decision, doesn't it, for tomorrow?
Yeah, it gives me a nice problem to see the way they linked, to see the attributes of Tammy, and for Kai to see a form of an understanding, albeit in one game. They are the challenges that lie ahead for us, trying to work on those combinations with the newer players that we have coming in. We also saw Olivier Giroud come on and impact in terms of his goal, but also potentially he could have made 2 or 3 really good assists in his period. So I need those options. There's a long season, and we need different ways of breaking down teams. And I think with the players that we brought in, hopefully we'll make us stronger, but also working on those combinations of the squad as we are to try and be as clinical as I suppose we were against Barnsley.
And on the injured players, Christian Pulisic, is he ready? Will he be involved?
No, Christian isn't ready for the squad tomorrow, nor is Hakim Ziyech, but they're both training with us now, which is good news, and we hope to have them with us in proper match contention over the next week or two.
James at Talk Sport.
Frank, we could see Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell make their first Premier League appearances in the Chelsea shirt tomorrow. How impressed have you been with what you've seen from them so far behind the scenes?
I've been very impressed with both Thiago and Ben on and off the pitch. They've both added to the dressing room off the pitch in terms of Thiago, albeit not speaking the language great, but his persona, his winning mentality, I think it's something that comes across in gestures and actions as opposed to talking at the moment, and that's been great. And with Ben also, in terms of his character, how quickly he settled into the dressing room, have been really big positives for me, because I see that day in, day out. And obviously there are qualities on the pitch which we saw bits of against Barnsley, and I'm sure and hopeful that we'll see a lot more of.
And only 3 matches into the season if you include the Carabao Cup game. How challenging are you finding it already to try and keep all your players happy, and how are you trying to come to terms with dealing with some of the natural disappointment that these players are facing at the moment?
Well, yeah, it's always a tough element of the job at this level, because we need a big squad, because we're going to be competing on so many levels, and players all want to play week in, week out, and all you can ask them from them is that they carry on with the right attitude. That doesn't mean being happy not to play football, but it means an understanding of being part of a group that's trying to do something special, and it needs a good mentality throughout the squad through the year. So yeah, those can be tough moments, but as I say, in terms of personalities within the group, in terms of collective spirit, it's sometimes as important as the smaller details that happen on the pitch. So that's what I look at when I look at the group, and I see the positive signs, and it's important for us this year, crucial.
Nick Purewall, PA.
Frank, I understand that obviously Thiago and Ben play and push for match fitness in midweek. Are they? And I know it's a selection decision anyway, but are they fit enough to start at the weekend? And whether they do or not, I'm not asking whether they will, but are they fit enough to start? And just going on from what you said about them already, how exciting is it to have them step up there?
Yeah, I believe they are fit enough to start, but I do have to also take into consideration the fact that we play another game with a pretty tight turnaround on Tuesday, and then another game on Saturday, and then some players, the international type players, will maybe go and play 3 games for their country. So I am managing that one, but yes, having come through those games the other day as they did, I think particularly Thiago did start that game and had 60 minutes in the tank, so that was good to see. With Ben, I'll maybe be a little bit more cautious just to make sure. His injury has been quite a challenging one, so I'll make those calls, but they're in a good place at the moment.
Anita, PLP.
Hi Frank.
Hi.
I know you previously mentioned that you and the squad are standing by Kepa. Have you actually spoken to him since Mendy's announcement yesterday?
I haven't spoken to Kepa, no, since then. The announcement came and we trained, and I didn't see Kepa, but I will have a conversation with him and with Willy Caballero over the next 24 hours or so. I have a very open line of communication with both of them. And I'll speak. It's important as goalkeepers, they have their own small union in the training ground because of the nature of the way they work together, so it needs to be a very positive feeling between the goalkeepers, and I'm sure there will be. There's good competition there now, we know that, and that's how we move forward.
Okay, Nizar Kinsella.
Hi Frank, I just wanted to ask, Christian Pulisic has been out for a little while now. I was just wondering if there's any longer term concerns about his fitness. You've had him in and out of the squad a little bit since he joined the club.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always a concern about players' fitness when the history says that there have been some injuries, and last season we did have them with Christian. I was questioned many times on my position on Christian when he did play or didn't play, and of course when you look at a player with his recent record, you're trying to find the right way, the right balance of getting the best out of him, which we saw in big periods last year, and making sure you don't overcook him and leave him susceptible to injury, particularly when a player of his explosive pace and balance. It's that's a fine line. So we're working on that, and Christian is also very open to that. He wants to play, he's so hungry to play, and he's very nearly fit now. But it's certainly something we'll have to manage with him this season, because we've all seen the talent, and it's something we want to get right. I'm not saying it's a fundamental, chronic kind of an issue. It's not. But we want to get as many minutes of Christian, the really great Christian that we saw lots of last season, on the pitch.
Okay, it's the end of the broadcast section, so cameras off there. We'll go to the dailies. For the dailies that like a question, please raise your hand. And we will start with